Hi, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Dell.
And this is the Black Catch-Up, where we're catching up on iconic black media we missed out on in our more conservative religious childhood.
All right, so today we watched House
House
Party.
Party. Yeah. So, as always, I am DB. Kid decides to go to his friend's place, to his friend Play's house party, but neither of them can predict what's in store for them or what could be the wildest night of their lives.
Okay.
And this is just the first
Yeah.
one. There are like 3 of these.
Yeah. I guess another one of those movies. I see why they made more.
Yeah.
But yeah, so starting off with things we liked.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess I'll kick it off. I thought this
Go
movie
ahead.
was like hilarious. Like
Yeah, it
this
was
movie
really
was
funny.
really funny to me. Like I thought Kid was hilarious. His dad was really funny. Like all those moments of his dad just kind of
Yeah.
yelling at him for like just doing like dumb kid stuff kind of thing.
Yeah.
I also really found Charnay and Sydney to be really
Yeah.
funny too. Like there was that scene in the beginning where they were like dancing with the guys, but like kind of dancing around them and like
Yeah.
dancing with each other. But they just had like a bunch
Yeah,
of like,
I
cute
love
moments
that
like
scene.
that.
That was so funny.
Yep. So yeah, I thought it was really funny. Bilal was funny with like the dragon breath. I thought that was funny too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just a really funny movie.
Yeah. I said a lot of the same things. One of my first favorite moments was when Play was putting all the DJ equipment in the car, and
Oh yeah.
he just was there's just him constantly banging up the stereo, and then
Yeah.
Martin Lawrence's character is like, "Where am I gonna sit?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"I'll come back for you." And he's like, "What?" Because he has his the girl he picked up in the car. It was just so funny, and just like.
Yeah.
Everyone had like great comedic timing to pull off all the funny moments in this movie. I don't think there was like a dud person. Like people were able to play straight when they needed to. People were able to be funny when they needed to. Like all around, very good.
Yeah. And I guess the next thing I had, like, it was a very lighthearted movie that, like, didn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
But it was, like, goofy, but it didn't get, like, I don't know, like, that over-the-top goofy that sometimes, I don't know, I don't like. Like, I don't know, like a scary movie type over-the-top goofy, you know?
Yeah.
So, I like
It
how,
kind of
like,
stayed grounded, I guess.
it did. It definitely did. Like, a lot of the goofiness was definitely just with, like, the actual dialogue and, like,
Yeah.
you know, it wasn't as much like visual humor and like gags like that. So I actually really did
Yeah.
enjoy that.
Yeah. I really liked just all the music. Like when they're dancing to the music, I loved the dance off scene. I love that. I liked the rap battle that Kid and Play engaged in. Even when Kid went to DJ at that like fraternity thing, I liked that scene.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of good music. Like this was a good music film. You could
Yeah,
tell that
no.
it was based off of because it was like music artists were at the forefront of it and were the 2 main characters. You can tell that they kind of like were leaning into the music really heavily, but they did a good job of it. So we had like a really
Yeah.
solid soundtrack, and then the rap battle was really good, and the dancing was really good. Like everything that you need for a music film, like really worked out.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. That was pretty much the last thing I had. The like rap battle, dance battle, music overall. Like
Yeah.
rapping was a lot of fun to watch, and like I actually did like that like scene in the jail where it almost like became like a musical almost.
Yeah.
I actually like thought that scene was like kind of fun.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I definitely like the rapping and like dancing and stuff as
Yeah.
well.
Because this wasn't quite a musical, because in musicals, the songs more or less like propel the plot or like say what the characters
Yeah.
are thinking. But it was a music film in that like it was based off of music, I guess.
Yeah. Well, no, I only meant the scene in the jail, like that scene
Yeah.
in the jail. That
Yeah.
that particular scene felt like a musical. The rest of it felt like I guess like a movie with singers, but that particular
Yeah.
scene.
Or
was
because
fun.
it's like a step up from a music video, I guess is what you would say.
Mm-hmm.
Because it goes like
Yeah.
music video, music film, and then like musical in terms of like
Yeah.
what
That
things
like
are doing.
extended music video or something almost.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, so is that anything else? No, I kind of grouped all the stuff together.
Yeah. That was everything for me.
Yeah. So now for the
okay.
negatives.
Yeah. You want to start this one?
Yeah, I'll say I think that anything that had to do with the police didn't need to be there outside of the gang getting arrested. Like Kid and then the
Okay.
bullies, outside of them getting arrested, I don't think they needed the police in this movie. Just because it kind of was almost like a B storyline that was like almost like a one-off adventure or something. And I first thought it when the bullies got like arrested by the cops, and the cops were like, we're not gonna call this and we're gonna take care of you street justice style. Then they like left to take him to the docks. We didn't see that scene at all. Then they come back and it's like, I got the same bruises you got, and I'm like, what why did we do this? And even when Kid's dad got the walking while black thing, that also kind of like it was almost it's hard to say because it's like that is a very real experience black people go through, but like it doesn't add anything to our lives, and it didn't add anything to the film. It kind of like it wasn't even commenting on the police. I think that's my thing. It wasn't like a commentary on policing and like what they're doing. It's kind of just like they were almost like these wacky cop characters that kind of didn't do anything, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I get that. I didn't mind the police in the film, but I agree they were in there a lot more than they had to be.
They were in there a lot, like, considering like they weren't doing anything with them. They were almost like awful cop characters, but like, why are you in here?
Yeah. And I guess they kind of just needed them because like, I don't know, this movie gave me a lot of like super bad vibes. Where, like they have the like cops with like McLovin kind of thing. So like I don't know. I guess you kind of need the cops because like it's a party, so like cops have to. And I don't even think the cops like ended up shutting it down or anything.
Yeah, that's
what they showed up to the party.
They didn't. That's what got me.
Getting people walking down the street, you know.
Yeah, that's what kind of got me. It seemed like the cops were just kind of like patrolling the area and not like. And okay, that's what it was. They weren't like a foil to the party. They were just kind of like a foil to people who are black.
Yeah,
kind of
just like being outside kind of thing.
Yeah, because you're right. They didn't shut down the party, and this kind of bleeds into my next point. But I might as well say it because I'm talking about it. The grouch neighbor doesn't even call the cops. Like,
yeah, I thought like he was gonna do more, especially because it was I'm blanking on the name, like Witherspoon, John Witherspoon.
Maybe I don't remember his name. Danielle, put up the name
because he just passed recently.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I thought he was gonna like have a bigger role in the film, but he was kind of just the grumpy neighbor, and then he was like sleeping. And then
yeah, he didn't actually do anything about it.
What? Yeah,
that's what got me. That he like got so much screen. He got more screen time than I thought he would for someone who didn't do anything with the party. That's what got me.
Yeah, I don't know. My one like everything was like I guess sort of related to the plot, like kind of like what you were kind of saying. There was a lot of like. Not unnecessary things, but a lot of things that kind of led to nothing, or like like minor little like plot holes where I was just like, like the one thing I had was like, how did Sydney sneak out the house the second time to help bail out Kid from jail?
I have no clue.
Like it seemed like they were like both had like super strict parents. Everyone needed to get home, and then they all like were able to get out pretty easily.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know, just like little stuff like that, but
yeah.
Yeah.
The last thing I had was I thought the dad character was underutilized, as good as he was. I just felt as though they could have used him a little bit more. Just because, well, first of all, his whole storyline of him going to work was a little convoluted to me. They kind of like went a lot of places to say kind of nothing. Because he was like, you can't type the phones because I want to get that overtime. And he also talked about how he goes to work at night. So I was like, why is Kid having such a hard time sneaking out to this party if his dad's not even going to be there? And then his dad was sleeping on the couch, and then he woke up and was like, where's Kid? And I don't even remember if he looked in Kid's room or something, or he just knew he was at the party. That could just be misremembering. But I was like, what? And then he like left and got the whole walking while black thing, then went to the party, and then I presume he went to work? Because he didn't see Kid at the party.
That's what got me. Because I thought he had to go. I thought he was running late for work.
So did I. I thought he had to go to work.
Be home before I go to work. And then he said, "I'll wait one more minute." I thought he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be late for work." And then he starts strolling down the street. And I was like, oh, I guess you weren't on a time crunch? Like, you weren't going to work?
I thought it was a thing where Kid had been out before he got back from work. And I was like, so that means Kid's out till like 5 a.m. or something like that. That's not good. And then I was also like, how does he know he's not back? Just, the dad was underutilized and his story beats were a little convoluted to me. They kind of just like were twisting in knots, and I was like, they could just make it a simple thing where it's like the dad's constantly, maybe he grounds kid, but he still has to go to work, and he could just be checking on the phone constantly. So it has to be a thing where kid has to fake that he's at home or something like that. Or maybe maybe it is a thing where the dad comes home and he has to be home by the same time. So you're kind of like racing the dad home, but maybe there's like a secret thing that he sees to realize that kid was out the whole time. But I don't know. Whatever he did was so convoluted and very confusing. And again, when he went to go bust the party and kid wasn't there, I was like, so what did we do this for? Like, what was this? Especially since the dad kind of disappeared again till the end. It was like,
kind of just went home pretty
then
much.
why did we do that? Or work or wherever. Because we're kind of like disagreed on where he went. Although I think we both assume work. I don't know. But just the dad's part was a little wonky for me.
I definitely get that.
While he was funny, he was the shakiest in terms of character motivations because I could never get a read on what it is he wanted.
And honestly, most of his scenes were just kind of him like ranting about things, which was like super funny. But like he'd be alone, just like ranting about things. Like, I'd be laughing, but like, definitely. That's not how you have to use him. You know, you gotta use him a lot better.
He's like having full on
people or do.
He's like having full on ranting routines to himself, and I'm like, you're not talking to anyone. Oh.
Yeah.
So that's the only negative that I had. Yeah.
That's all I had as well. Ratings time?
Yep, ratings time.
I'll kick it off. I gave this one a 4.5. Like,
I
actually like really like this one. Like, this is probably the funniest movie I've like seen. Definitely through like this like TheBlackCatch-Up project. But I don't know. Like, I guess some of my like favorite movies overall, like I mentioned, were like Superbad. And this one like gave me like a lot of those vibes. But like I like this one more.
Yeah.
Like this one had me like laughing out loud a lot, and I also appreciated that it didn't take itself too seriously. So like, even like the cops like not being utilized, like the dad not being utilized, like in my like again, like I said, the whole plot was kind of like very thin, and like he was pretty much just going to a party, and like shenanigans ensued, and I think it like was perfect for that kind of feel. It's like in terms of like when I want that like party movie feel, like I get that, and there's black people, like this is a movie to me,
Yeah.
But so 4.5.
Cool. I gave this a 3.5. I too had a really great time watching it. Thought it was really fun. Really liked the music. I think the dad character and the plot thinness kind of dinged me a little bit more than it dinged you, but I didn't take away from my enjoyment of it for the most part. I really enjoyed. I just had a great time. And it really felt like a house party the entire time, which was really good. Yeah. It didn't get too... We said the movie was grounded, so it didn't get too outlandish to the point where you're like, there is no possible way these kids are having this party. But it wasn't so small that it was like the stakes are kind of like nothing. It just was... Yeah. It really felt like a house party. It was really fun.
Yeah, like very, very like relatable stuff happening. Like you think of like a Project X where they're like jumping off roofs. This one, like the big thing was like someone clogging the toilet, Yeah,
that was funny.
Like stuff like that, Like it's very like relatable kind of.
And even the like little relationship tiffs that like Shireen and Sydney did, where they were like kind of both almost dated, almost like romantic prospects for kid, but they're like, I think she likes him, and you said you liked him. That was so like high school too, and I kind of liked that. Yeah. Even though the characters all looked easily 30.
No, they looked, especially the bullies. The
oh
bullies
my gosh!
Super old.
The bullies all look like teachers, and I was like, how are these teachers like getting away with bullying these kids? Yeah, and these kids also look 30. Like, y'all are adults. Y'all need to take that somewhere else.
They look very old.
Yeah.
But
Final question. Do you wish you saw this sooner? I'll kick it off, and I'll say easy yes. This was just really fun, and it would have been fun to have seen even, like, a week before. Like, I could have seen this years before, a week before. This was just a fun movie, and I could definitely see myself watching this again. It's a very easy, breezy movie to put on, too. I had a really fun time. The only thing I will say is if I saw it earlier, it would have, like, made my expectations for parties go through the roof. And I would have just been even more miserable at parties than I already am.
Yeah.
Like, I already dislike going to parties because there's just too many people, like, crowded in a tight space. But, like, if I saw this movie before all that, I would have been even more pissed at parties.
Yeah, I get that. Okay. Yeah, this one was also like an easy yes for me. Same reasons, mostly like again, just like really fun movie. Good to
Yeah.
watch, and also the added thing of like my two best friends in college compared themselves to Kid and Play often,
Ah, cool.
and I definitely see where that comes from
Yeah.
after seeing the movie. So I wish I had
Yeah.
seen that movie before, like going to college and like meeting them and like all that stuff. But
Getting in on the joke.
yeah, but definitely great movie. Would recommend, and like you said, it's an easy watch, and I like probably will watch it again.
Yeah.
Or I would. I don't know if I will. I don't usually watch movies again, but this is a movie I would like. I don't know if I'm like doing something and just need something on in the background. I would throw on.
This is definitely a really good, like, Saturday movie or, like, a hangover movie. Where if you're, like,
Yeah,
hungover and you're
definitely.
kind of like, I don't really want to do anything, but I kind of want to watch something, you could totally watch this. And it doesn't get too loud where you kind of are like, oh, my head.
No.
Or it's a good movie to watch while you're, like, cleaning or something. Especially because,
Yeah.
like, when Play was, like, vacuuming and, like, dancing, you could totally do that while... You could just, like, listen to this movie more or less and, like, laugh and dance and have fun cleaning.
Yeah, super like stress-free movie too. Like
Yeah.
again, the stakes were low. Like the final bit, the big bad was his dad spanking him when he got home, and like
Yeah.
he knew that was happening at the beginning of the movie, and he was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm already out, so might
Yeah.
as well,"
That was his big thing.
Yeah, but that was House Party.
Yeah.
So yeah, YouTube housekeeping, like, comment, subscribe.
Ring the bell for notifications. If you have any movie suggestions for us, you can leave them in the comments down below. We do movies on Tuesdays and Fridays. All of our social medias will be in the description box down below, and we'll see you next time to catch up. Bye. Literally, the only reason I looked him up was because when I first saw that bully come in, I was like, this guy is easily 35. How old is he? And I tried to find
He had
it.
to be. He had to be. You know,
I was
he could
like-
have been like someone's dad out there.
I know! I was like, Dad shouldn't bully the kids. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning scene. This movie had a lot of cheesy fights, too. I thought that were fun.
Yeah.
That you can tell,
that
like-
first fight was hilarious.
Yeah, I was like, you can tell he's not punching him and just, like, doing the motions
Yeah.
to make it look like it. But it was still so good and so funny. I was like, yeah, this movie has some good scenes.